We have a battle for you today. This is the battle of the Titans, at least as far as it's concerned when we're thinking about the suburbs in San Diego, where to live. This is Carmel Valley versus Del Sur, two of the preeminent suburbs anywhere in Southern California, and we're going to take them head to head. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, where one outshines the other, and where the other one comes back over the top. Here, stick with us if that's what you're looking for, because we're going to get after it right now. Now look, I might have exaggerated a little bit about the Battle of the Titans, but maybe not. If you're looking for a suburb with top-rated schools, access to hiking, access to activities galore for the kids, and just a generally great location, well, that's why we have Del Sur versus Carmel Valley. In the field, I can tell you that buyers that we're talking to every single day, maybe just like you, are considering one versus the other. And there are some absolute differences as much as there's similarities in the lifestyle, but there are differences, location being one of them, pricing being another key difference among a few other things in terms of how the fabric of those communities is made up. So with that, let's start with location. The key difference being that Carmel Valley is more coastal than Del Sur. Now that might seem like, well, Carmel Valley is automatically better, but there's actually pluses and minuses that go with that. Let's go to the pluses first. What Carmel Valley has going for it in terms of being more coastal is it is about 7 minutes from the beach. And not just the beach, but some of the most beautiful beaches anywhere in Southern California, particularly to Del Mar Beach. It is really just an awesome, awesome place. And then a locals beach, Torrey Pines Beach, which, yes, the official Torrey Pines is in La Jolla, but Torrey Pines Beach is actually in Del Mar and with closest proximity, again, to Carmel Valley. While Del Sur is about 17 minutes to the beach, still not far. Okay, so if you're living in Del Sur and you want to have a beach day, you don't think, well, hey, we got to go on a journey. Nothing like that. You just go to the beach. But there's certainly more of a coastal air when you're in Carmel Valley. Now, that comes with some positives because that, you know, it's wonderful to have that. But at the same time, you can expect more cloudy days in Carmel Valley than in Del Sur, despite the not terribly far proximity of that they have to one another. Okay, they are actually very close to one another. In fact, their zip codes are adjacent. So we have something in San Diego called the marine layer, and the marine layer is such that it basically covers all the way through Carmel Valley as you move east. And right about on the Carmel Valley border is where the marine layer starts to break up, and you can easily have a day where you're in the sunshine, hanging out at the pool, just having a sunny day in Del Sur, and your friends over there in Carmel Valley are maybe 8 degrees cooler in the clouds and maybe a little bit more of that coastal wind, kind of a little bit chilly. So there's times like that when you'd think, well, Del Sur is so much better because of that more inland location, it's sunnier, etc., everything I just said. But now let's flip to the height of summer, that height of summer where you could be really hot in Del Sur. And that coastal air is so welcoming that you have in Carmel Valley. Now, the other thing that I think is a significant difference in terms of location is that Carmel Valley, in my opinion, has market protection pretty much forever. In fact, if we go back to the Great Recession, Carmel Valley outperformed all neighborhoods across San Diego County. And the reason why is that it will never stop being attractive to be just minutes away from Del Mar, minutes away from La Jolla, and even places like Solana Beach, So just some of San Diego's most amazing kind of coastal villages known in not just San Diego, but across the state, across the country, just beautiful places, and not have to have their pricing. So Carmel Valley, while pricier than Del Sur, and we're going to go to pricing in a moment, significantly less expensive than areas that it just affords you very quick access to. Places you might go and have a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner without thinking twice about it, such as, again, La Jolla, Del Mar, Solana Beach. And for those reasons, Carmel Valley, I believe, will just always have this wonderful protection in terms of market conditions, where I'm not saying it couldn't go down. It absolutely can go down. I've seen it go down, for example, in the Great Recession, but it went down far less than any other neighborhood across San Diego County. So you give Carmel Valley a big notch on that one. Now, I will say that when that happened in the Great Recession, Del Sur was so much less developed. It was very much in its infancy. It was unproven. Today, Del Sur, much like Carmel Valley, you have a home that comes on the market, you could expect competition, you could expect big lines out the door, multiple, I mean, it is unbelievably desirable. And so with that, let's shift into what makes Del Sur for some people even just more desirable. Even when they have the budget for either neighborhood, some people will choose Del Sur. And one of the reasons why is the fabric of how that community has come together. I mean, if you want to talk neighborhood, if you want to talk about just having unbelievable activities, one of the best organized HOAs on the planet, and I know HOAs can get a bad rap because they dictate to you what your home's going to look like and all that, but let's get real about it. Homes in Carmel Valley, homes in Carlsbad, homes in Chula Vista, homes in most any planned unit development anywhere in Southern California, they look like similar. But what Del Sur has, I'm thinking about the 4th of July parade. I'm thinking about the Memorial Day festival. I'm thinking about when they bring out literally snow day and you're going sledding right there in the neighborhood. I mean, the things this community puts together, the poker nights, the adult party, everything about it. If you want a community where you are guaranteed 100% to have a ton of opportunity to know your neighbors, to make friends, to have the kids, right, know every kid on the block and they're running around, and it's almost kind of like a movie setting where everyone is, you know, has the opportunity to know everybody. Now, let me explain why I say opportunity. You might be a more introverted person. There's no forcing you to do any of that. No one's in your business if you don't want that to be the case. But if you'd like to just, you know your neighbors and so on, in Carmel Valley, you could easily go without even meeting your neighbors. There is not that sense of, hey, we're Carmel Valley, the way that in Del Sur, there is a sense of, hey, we're Del Sur. And so you see Del Sur, that pricing gap between Carmel Valley and Del Sur, while it still exists, has condensed, has become a smaller gap, because people just rave about Del Sur, tell their friends, and more people come. And so it's become a really competitive neighborhood for those reasons. Now, when it comes to sports teams and activities and the Little League and the, you know, all of it, the soccer for the kid, all that, both neighborhoods, I mean, I don't know which one outshines the other, by the way. So they each have everything you'd ever want in that department. If we skip over to the hiking trails now, Del Sur is going to start to pull apart a little bit more because it's closer to Black Mountain. It's closer to Poway, where you're going to be able to access mountains like Iron Mountain, which I had plans to run this morning. A friend broke them with me, so no good. But where you have access to Mount Woodson, where you have more access to these beautiful, larger mountains that are on the more eastern side of San Diego, and so Del Sur gives you a little bit closer proximity to that. And I will say this, Del Sur, when it comes to just sheer beauty of just the way the neighborhood is laid out, the canyons that roll through it, Del Sur is a more aesthetically pleasing neighborhood than Carmel Valley. Still, with that being said, take the same home in Carmel Valley, same home in Del Sur. The Carmel Valley one is going to sell for more. It is going to have a higher value. And that's where you go back to location, location, location. And when you butt up to Del Mar, La Jolla, just right, a quick zip down the freeway there across the 56, and then just minutes down the way to either the 805 or the 5 right out of the merge. When you have the ability to be at the beach laying out 7 minutes later, Carmel Valley will forever have that appeal. And I don't even actually anticipate a time when Del Sur necessarily passes it up in that respect, because, well, the coast is the coast. Hey, by the way, I'm Dan Beer with Beer Home Team at eXp Realty, and if we can help you make a smooth move, well, just drop a comment down below, or check the first pinned comment where I've left you easy ways to get a hold of us. And now, before we hit on pricing, let's go to one last category, which is shopping, restaurants. And here I have to tell you, there's not a lot to think about. Carmel Valley simply has it, and has it in spades versus Del Sur. Could be another reason why pricing in Carmel Valley, at least as far as anything I could see now, will continue to outshine pricing in Del Sur. There's just simply no two ways about it. Carmel Valley shines when it comes to the Del Mar Highlands Plaza. And so it's called Del Mar Highlands. It is in Carmel Valley, but it is on kind of the border of Del Mar. This place is awesome. It has so much going for it. But what happened was, across the street, another Carmel Valley shopping center called One Paseo came about. So newer, kind of more modern footprint, where the parking's all on the exterior and you're walking through it, almost like a little mini UTC. And I mean a mini UTC. If you've been to UTC in San Diego here, it's awesome. But One Paseo created this, and with really great shops and restaurants and so on. And so first of all, yes, One Paseo on its own outshines anything going on in the Del Sur neighborhood from a shopping perspective. But then Del Mar Highlands said, hold on, new kid on the block, I'm gonna catch up here. And so they went through these renovations, and now it has what's probably the coolest, baddest food hall anywhere that I've seen. And I'm talking like anywhere, name other cities, other countries. It's awesome. It's called the Sky Deck. And you have all these different restaurants, a beautiful bar in the middle. You could actually sit in the bar in the middle, order from any of the restaurants, and it just has a vibe that you're just like, are we really in Carmel Valley? I mean, it's like Carmel Valley. When I grew up, I lived in Carmel Valley from when I was 18 years old until I was, about 28. There wasn't that much to do. You know, you could go to Del Mar Highlands, but it wasn't cool by any means. Well, I'm telling you, Sky Deck is cool. Like, you could live in Carlsbad, in Oceanside, and wherever, in La Jolla, and Del Mar, and say, hey, let's go have a night at the Sky Deck, and it's going to be an awesome night. So with the development, or the redevelopment of the Highlands, the introduction of One Paseo, plus a number of other little shopping areas around Carmel Valley, there's no question about it that it takes the cake, because all Del Sur really has going for it is this really dull, really boring, really not impressive Target Center. And it's a shame, because the Del Sur Town Center, was what they call it, had all the potential in the world. It had the space, the layout, the footprint to be just as awesome as what they did at One Paseo. But instead of creating this kind of internal, beautiful, walkable experience with the parking on the exterior, well, what they ended up doing was turning the whole darn thing into a parking lot anchored by a big Target Center. And then you've got like Burger Lounge and a couple other places like Chick-fil-A just sort of lining the edge of it. I mean, do I go to Burger Lounge from time to time? Sure. Also the Starbucks, also the Chick-fil-A, sure. And the Italian restaurant, well, you don't need to go there, trust me. But it's nothing like what they have in Carmel Valley. All right, we're gonna go to price now. If you're wondering, hey Dan, are you gonna talk about the schools? Well, no, not really, okay? There's which ones are better? Well, I don't know. The San Diego ones versus the Del Sur ones, Torrey Pines versus Del Norte, Willow Grove versus all of the beautiful elementary schools across Carmel Valley. The point being is one's better than the other. It's, at this point, really just gonna be opinion, completely subjective. You want top rated, go do your own research, but you're gonna see 10s and 9s and 10s and 9s, and I don't think you're really gonna go wrong. So we're gonna jump into pricing right now. So the median home price over the last 12 months in Carmel Valley, $2,042,500 versus Del Sur, which is lower at $1,723,250. So basically $1.7 million in Del Sur versus $2,042,000 in Carmel Valley. Definitely Del Sur, less expensive. Now, having said that, you do have to be aware of two other factors that you're gonna get there. Your money in Carmel Valley is buying you an older home on average than the Del Sur property. So you're actually getting a newer property for less in Del Sur, but it's not all roses. In Del Sur, you're also typically going to be paying a higher Mello-Roos, which essentially just means you have higher property taxes. Now, for a median townhome in Carmel Valley, you're gonna be at $1.2 million. Del Sur, guess what? $1.2 million. So there's actually not a huge difference there, other than, again, the difference of getting an older property versus a newer property. Del Sur being on the newer side. Carmel Valley, you might have more wear and tear, more need for remodeling, but that's what your money will get you in each of these neighborhoods. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I have lived in both locations. So if you're choosing between Del Sur and Carmel Valley, you can't really go wrong, but hopefully this video has given you things to think about so that you can prioritize based on what's important to you. And if I can help you make a smooth move anywhere across San Diego County, just hit us up. Check out the first comment where we have so many easy ways to get a hold of us, including text, phone, email, or setting up a Zoom meeting. And any comment you drop down below, I personally reply. I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.